Hi, I'm Dan Kraus, General Secretary of United Methodist Communications.
I'm Teresa Faust, Market Research Manager.
And I'm Poonam Patodia, Chief Marketing Officer.
And we're here today to talk about aligning our messages for the 4 areas of focus. You know, it's easier to communicate today than ever before, but it's also harder to rise above all the clutter. There are more communication channels and messages and competition for attention. So we have to change the way we communicate with our audiences. Our messages must be consistent and complementary and interwoven. It used to be that we started with what the church wanted people to know, but that didn't always resonate with our audiences. Our approach has shifted to make the audience the foundation of the message. They will value what we say only if it is meaningful to their own interests and their own faith journeys.
We are basing our messaging on research about what people value and how that intersects with what the church offers. We'd like to share just a few insights from this research. Spiritual growth and genuine community are the top motivators for attending church. That's according to a new survey of spiritual seekers aged 18 to 34 conducted by Barna Group on behalf of United Methodist Communications. For marrieds, feeling welcomed into a community and instilling values in their children are the top motivators. While singles are more likely to be driven by desire for spiritual growth, support, and friendships. While young adults are almost constantly connected to social media, the findings point to a need for a human connection that is deeper and more meaningful than virtual community. In fact, twice the number of U.S. adults say they are lonely compared to 10 years ago. That's a reality that represents a real opportunity for churches that want to reach young seekers. The survey found that favorable impressions of the United Methodist Church increased from 25% in 2011 to 40% in 2015. 3/4 of seekers, especially Gen Xers, marrieds, and women, find the denomination's tagline, "Open hearts, open minds, open doors," to be appealing. We also did research to find out what United Methodists consider the most important values for the United Methodist Church. What makes us who we are? What does it mean to be United Methodist? And while there were some very different perceptions, we found that there were some values that were consistently ranked as very important, including an emphasis on God's grace, local mission, and a strong scriptural foundation. We've made the details of this research available on our website at umcom.org/research.
Based on this research, we developed key messages about what it means to be United Methodist. These messages bring together these very important core values with our audience's desire for spiritual growth and genuine community. We begin by encouraging our audience with a relevant message. The United Methodist Church is a place to belong, where you're welcome, where we emphasize that God's grace is available to all, and where you are allowed to ask questions and explore faith in community with others. We then build on people's needs for growth in faith, community, and service by talking about how churches not only provide opportunities to learn and grow in personal faith, but also opportunities to serve and help others. As people move further along in their journeys, they begin to have an appreciation for a global connection and being part of a worldwide community joined together in faith and service. What does this mean for the 4 areas of focus? That these messages must be the foundation of all we say. We have to make sure our messages are consistent and work together. We have to use this same approach with our messaging around the 4 areas of focus and make sure that it fits with our overall messaging. As we talk about the new quadrennial goals for the 4 areas of focus, we must build these goals into our messaging in a way that connects with people inside and outside our churches. We also must recognize that our audiences are not all the same. We have to target our messages in such a way that they have a direct relationship to people's lives. For external audiences and seekers, that means connecting these goals with seekers' own beliefs and interests. For members, that means sharing how these goals are relevant to our own faith journeys. And for leaders, that means talking about how we'll work together to realize success.
We are working with the leadership of each of these focus areas about how the message relates to our overall communication plan. If we are going to be consistent in our messaging, we must equip leaders to share these messages through the various levels of the church. We must secure stakeholder buy-in, educate general agency and annual conference communication staff, equip leaders, and communicate externally. And we will need to update our existing platforms to weave new messaging into fresh content for members and seekers so that it is relevant and in touch with their concerns.
We are excited about this new approach to messaging, which will continue to evolve as these areas of focus begin to take on a new shape for the coming quadrennium.
Thank you for your time.